She said it in the doorway, framed by the house I grew up in, holding a mug that said, "World's Best Daughter." "Find somewhere else to die," my sister whispered. Like it was a kindness, "You're useless now." I remember the sound, more than the words, the soft click of the lock, the echo of my suitcase, scraping the porch, the rain, beginning like applause. I stood there with a box of my father's watches and my mother's letters, and I didn't be begging as loud. He was quiet. That night, in a motel that smelled like bleach and old prayers, I told myself something simple. I would outlast her. We weren't always like this when we were kids. She braided my hair before school and stole cookies from me when I was sick when our parents built the house. We ran barefoot through wet cement and left our initial shirts are still there, mine too, buried under the front step. She locked behind me. The shift came slowly. Money does that. It teaches people which parts of themselves they were waiting to meet. When my parents fell ill, she took over the conversations. Doctors spoke to her, lawyers smiled at her. I was the sensitive one. Useful for sitting bedside, useless for decisions. When the will was read, the room smelled like leather and lemon polish. The lawyer cleared his throat. The words landed Cleanthe House to her $28 million to Harapausa, glance in my direction that I didn't understand yet. She understood enough to smirk. After the funeral, she let me stay a week, long enough to throw away my mother's scarves, long enough to move my father's chair, long enough to believe she had one. Then came the lined one she practiced, the one she enjoyed. I noticed the signs before the lock clicked, the way she avoided eye contact, the way my room became storage, the way my mail went missing. Patterns always tell the truth before people do. I didn't argue. A paquete left. And then I waited. The lawyer called 3 days later. He didn't sound worried, sounded amused. "Did you even read the will?" he asked. I said nothing. Silence is an invitation. He took it. "You were named executor," he continued, "and beneficiary." The word hung there, a beneficiary singular. I went in the next morning. The same office as same lemon polish. Me sister arrived late, sunglasses on, confidence intact. She laughed when she saw me. It was reflect. The lawyer slid the document across the table. "There's a clause," he said, "your parents were thorough." I watched her smile slow down. The house, the will said, was hers as a life estate. She could live there. She could not sell it. She could not mortgage it. And if she forced me out, if she made the house unavailable to me, she forfeited the life estate immediately. The $28 million wasn't a gift, was a trust, discretionary education, healthcare, maintenance overseen by the executor. Me. Her face drained in stages. First disbelief, then math, then fear. She opened her mouth, closed, looked at me like I had changed. He hadn't. He had always been this quiet. Doesn't mean weak, it means patient. "There's more," the lawyer said, almost gently. A no contest clause. Any attempt to challenge the will results in immediate disinheritance. She laughed thin, a brittle sound. "This is a joke." He shook his head. "It's very specific." I study, thanked him. "Manners matter at funerals and executions." She followed me into the hall. Her voice dropped. "We can fix this." I turned, let her see my face, calm, measured, finished. "You already fixed it," I said. "You chose." The next weeks were procedural. I reinstated my room, changed the locks, legally paid the bills she'd ignored, canceled the renovations. She'd started to impress people who never stayed. He approved modest monthly distributions, enough to live on, odd enough to gloat. She tried kindness, then threats, then tears. Each attempt documented, each message saved patterns. Again, always the patterns. The final confrontation came at dinner. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that listens. "I'm sorry," she said, staring at her plot. He was grieving. "So was I said. "Didn't weaponize it?" She looked up. "You're enjoying this?" I considered the question. "Oh," I said, "I'm ending it." I slid one more page across the tablet. Letter my parents wrote together. Instructions. If the life tenant caused hostility, eviction, or harm to the co-resident, the estate convertisale proceeds to charity and I mediate. Her hand shook. "You wouldn't." "I won't," I said. "You already did." She moved out the next day, quiet lie, no applause. This time the house breathed again, sunlight found the initials under the step. I kept my promise, outlasted her. Justice isn't loud, it doesn't need witnesses, it waits until the person who wronged you reads the fine print and realizes they were never holding the pen. I didn't take everything, took back what was mine. And I slept in my parents' house, under a roof that finally remembered my name.